This is very special today. If you are in the mood for South African classics, like truly, really celebrate past South African composers and musicians, then get ready for Billy Monama's Rebound Experience. Monama will take you on a musical journey that reflects on greats such as one Jimmy Dludlu, Brahu Masekela, Sibongile Khumalo, and Salif Keita, just to mention a few, as part of celebrating our country's rich history, as well as 23 years in jazz music. It is our honor on the morning show to welcome a man who has chosen Human Rights Month to give you, his fans, the music special, Mr. Billy Monama. Sir, good morning. Umnandi? I'm curious, right?
Yeah.
Why guitar as the musical instrument of choice?
Sure. I mean, well, in 1995, the only sound that caught my ear and my body just had like this vibration, it was the instrument guitar.
Yeah.
Because it dominated the music that I grew up listening to, you know. The guitar started the intros of the songs. So without the guitar, the song wouldn't go on. You know, now when you play Maskandi music,
yes.
So we know where the tune is going to be. I mean, you know, so guitar was a very much predominant instrument in church that I grew from. Yeah.
And how old are you in that time? You picking up this and you start strumming.
I was 14. So I was still very young. I was like 14. And, you know, I had a very great neighbors, you know, people who taught me how to play.
Yeah.
You know, but then I learned to play formally. You know, I went to school and studied music.
Oh,
and
wow.
that's when I learned jazz harmony, and I got to learn about the jazz musicians like the Miles, the Coltrane, and you name them. But growing up, I grew up from the authentic sound of Makona Tsohle, you know, Weston Kosi, and you know, you name them, the greatest musicians of that time,
yeah.
of Marabi time, yeah.
And that time, interestingly, in a South African context, I mean, guitar music, I mean, guitar was very thematic in the music, and it's the musical instrument you'd hear in the struggle songs, right? Most of the time. How, according to you, should we honor and remember the struggle songs of the dark periods of South Africa?
Yeah, well, I mean, not just only guitar, but, you know, the greatest singers, you know, we speak fondly about Miriam Makeba, you know, Dolly Ratebe, you know, Dorothy Masuku, of course. So now, what's happening is that most people who know me, they know me as a sucker for heritage preservation, you know,
yes.
culture preservation,
right.
You know. So now I always want to preserve that sound, that authentic sound, to not die, because it's our map into our future, you know. So, for example, I mean, today is Humans Rights, so we cannot turn a blind eye of what happened in 1960, you know, on this day.
Yeah.
You know, so now we're gonna be celebrating this in a song. So these are the songs that kept the black people, you know, dancing through very difficult times of this country.
Now, let's talk about many of our jazz legends whom you've just mentioned, the likes of Miriam Makeba, Hugh Masekela, Abdullah Ibrahim, Abigail Kubega, Kaifa Semenya is one of them, who are all exiled. You know, they defied apartheid through music. Wena, as a jazz activist today in modern-day South Africa, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, it's beautiful that you have mentioned those people. Those people you have mentioned, the Kaifas, the Hugh, they did a great job, you know, for us. So what is left for us is to take, it's like a relay, you know, they give us a stick to run along with it.
Right.
So what we're doing now, we make sure that, I mean, I'm gonna speak from my side.
Yes.
I'm doing workshops each and every, you know, time when I do have time that is planned. Like for example, next week I will be in Pretoria doing a workshop there. I will be doing a series of workshops for a week in Soweto, dates and everything. They're on my website. So I make sure that I pass this knowledge to the younger to the youngsters. But now there isn't much that I can do in this period, because you must understand, jazz is not popular as it was back at that time.
Right.
So right now, what is popular music is hip hop and dance music, right?
Okay.
So now, what can Billy do if there's so much music that is trending? So we have a little spotlight, you know. For example, if I go and ask for you know, funding or something, you know, I mean, we're struggling for airplay, just for a mere airplay. When you hear a jazz song on radio, it means the artist has died, or it's Sunday. Jazz was never a music for Sunday. Jazz was a...
It used to be prime time music,
yes,
Monday to Friday.
Yeah, it was a prime time music. So now, the question is very ambiguous, that during the use and it's different from now, because now we as jazz musicians, we're not the same. It's different times.
Yeah. So talk to me about that struggle. What is the struggle and politics of contemporary jazz musicians, and what can they take from the jazz legends that you've just mentioned?
I mean, what they can take is bravery. You know, you listen to the songs. I mean, like the songs of freedom. I think Mam Dorothy Masuku, the late Mam Dorothy Masuku, she was the songbook of South Africa. She sang against the Verwoerd times. You know what I'm saying? So now they're saying on this day when people they were getting killed in Sharpeville, those people, they were singing the songs of freedom. So now we need to sing the songs of injustices, but now we can't, because most of musicians, to be quite honest, they're captured. So now, do you sing about the truth, or do you sing about the myth?
Wow.
So now, I can't write a song about what is currently happening in reality, because now my butter and everything is held by people who are funding me. So now, just musicians in general right now, they're captured. We are captured. Because now, how do you write a song about what is happening right now? You can't. Rather, you write about alcohol and
trending things.
Trending things. But we can't write about the reality. No, so now that generation was very brave. You know, so the bravery that Miriam Makeba, she carried to alarm the United Nations about the injustices that were happening in South Africa. Today, we can't have that kind of a musician who would do that.
In essence, artists today, and to quote you, they're not brave.
They're not brave. Yes, they're not brave. You know, I don't even know what's going to happen with me after this interview. But yes, you know what I'm saying. I'm just answering you as honest as I can.
I love the honesty, and you coming at me with all this realness, and you know, there are people that claim to be woke and stuff. But my question would be, can we reproduce the talent or the caliber of greatness that the musicians of that time were emulating?
Yes, absolutely. We can reproduce that. There are so many greatest jazz musicians, you know, not just jazz musicians, but I can say musicians in general. There's so many great musicians right now, and the technology is enhancing that. You know what I'm saying? And I worked with Abdullah, I worked with so many great musicians, Dorothy, Abigail, you name them, and it's still an honor for me to be sitting here and speaking about them while they're still alive. So now, so much has been learned from them that I can reproduce it. You know, there's so many great musicians, and we wanna reproduce this soundtrack, you know, and that will carry us into the future. You know, there are schools, there are institutions that they are implementing that.
Yeah.
Most jazz musicians today, for example, they are scholars. Most musicians, they're passionate to go to school and learn music, you know. So that's the difference, because now the older musicians, they didn't get the opportunity to go to school. But now we have the power to go and freedom to go to school and study music.
And therein lies the power to be social activists, use music as the vehicle to really put the messages out there, right?
Absolutely, yes. We put the stories in music. I mean, like, for example, tonight, what will be happening at the show, I won't be talking because people, they don't want to hear me talking, you know. But if I have to express every emotion, everything that happens in me, we express our inner voices in a song, it becomes something worth to listen than me talking.
Let's talk about that. I mean, there's a saying that good times for South African music were also the bad times for political freedom. In fact, we are in post-apartheid South Africa. A new dawn, political freedom comes with its challenges for musicians. And one of the biggest challenges, Billy, is spaces for jazz musicians like yourself to express in music and to grow and hone their skills of young upcoming jazz musicians. How are you remedying this situation?
It's very tough considering the economic climate that we're in, right? Venues, they got closed because they got shut down because of economy. You know, because someone who stays in, for example, right, someone who stays in 4 ways, he can travel 50 kilometers or 20 kilometers to go there and pay a cover charge, and then also have the beverages, meal, and all that entertainment stuff. By the time he leaves the venue, he will have spent so much money, and then now people, they're very cautious about their pockets because I've mentioned that is the economic climate that we're in.
Right.
You know, so it leads to jazz venues to be shut down. You know, so as I said before, that jazz is not trending music like back in the 1960s. So right now I mean, like, for example, at this particular jazz club, we couldn't fill up a 240-seater.
Really?
But if it was a hip hop show, I'm telling you, it's not gonna be packed, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be packed. It's gonna be dope. But now, you know what I'm saying? So now the only time whereby jazz shows they get packed is when we have like the festivals that I cannot mention the name, big festivals, and then people, they folk there.
Yeah.
And other people, they're not there at the festival, you know, to see the music. They're just there for the ambience. So now we need to create the venues that they have the same ambience, perhaps.
I'm looking forward to your performance live. Billy Monama on the morning show on Human Rights Day. The Rebound Experience live on our balcony in just a bit. Don't go anywhere.
How much do I have for performance? I just need to know that so that I can. Until you perform until I stop you, it's about 4 minutes. Okay, cool.
right, it's time for us to wrap up the Human Rights edition of the morning show on this beautiful Thursday morning. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending the last 2 hours with us.
Absolutely. Remember to attend. The event is today. Go support It's Human Rights Day. Absolutely.
The Rebound Experience live on the morning show on Human Rights Day. Very appropriate. As Billy Monama plays us out, your isiZulu and Sesotho news coming up next. Bye-bye.
We'd like to invite everyone to come and join us tonight at Marabi. We'll be celebrating the music that kept us people dancing. So we are la lo, yeah la yo. So we are ya yo. So we are la lo, so we are la yo. So we are la yo. So we are la lo, yeah la yo. So we are la. So we are